Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for this press conference. We have just come out of a hearing in the case of Republic versus Taita Yoma and 11 other police commanders. As you know, this is a historic case. It is being tried under the International Crimes Act, and we have spent the morning making representation. Among us here are advocates and members of staff of the following organizations: Amnesty International Kenya, the Law Society of Kenya, International Justice Mission, the Independent Medical and Legal Unit, Utu Wetu, and also the International Commission of Jurists. I believe I've got everybody. Okay. So we have just come out of court. There is no determination from the submissions that were made this morning by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, and several defense counsel for the over 60 victims of the police operation that took place during the general elections of 2017. Allow me to invite the Vice President, Maura Kabata, to give a quick overview of what happened this morning.
Good afternoon, members of the press. My name is Maura Kabata, LSK Vice President. We appeared before Justice Muigai today in the morning with the intention, or rather with the expectation, that we will take off with the plea taking for all the suspects who are arraigned in court today. However, once again, from the part of the Director of Public Prosecution, they sought to adjourn the plea taking and rather unconventionally also amend the charges. Now, on our part, together with, this is the Law Society, together with Amnesty, and together with Utu Wetu, including the LSK Kisumu chapter, we vehemently opposed that application for either amendment of the charges or adjournment. And because the file is bulky, the judge requested that she be allowed until tomorrow at 3 p.m., but virtually, so that she could be able to now canvass all the issues that have been raised and also give us a sense of direction as to where we are going. It should not be lost that the preceding judges who have handled these matters, this is Justice Kanyi Kimondo and Justice Lilian Mutende, have on repeated occasions ordered and directed that this plea be taken. And in fact, Justice Kimondo went ahead to even give a timeline of when the plea is to be taken. On our part, we are extremely disappointed with the decision by the Director of Public Prosecution to either adjourn the plea taking or amend the charges. You will realize that before, and this is the fourth adjournment, there have been many instances where the court has directed that the plea for all these top police officers be taken at a specific date. So the reason that we are getting from the DPP, and you will well note that the submissions from those who investigated these atrocities in Kisumu, which include atrocities such as rape, murder, forceful deportation of persons, were done by an independent office. This is IPOA. So when it comes to the part of the DPP, they already have the ingredients that are required to prosecute. But we are seeing an instance where they are not prosecuting. And you'll remember that even the court itself at one point shied away from putting a mark on the part of the DPP on whether this is being done by forces outside the DPP. And you'll remember that the DPP is an office which is supposed to be independent in the Constitution, that its mandate from the Constitution and authority is to operate without the influence or direction of any person. So we are hopeful that tomorrow we'll still be here, and we invite you to come and document these proceedings because they are important for our sense of democratic health and for the sense of, importantly, the family and the victims. It should not be lost that baby Pendo will be 10 years this year. I mean, we are talking about a human being. We are not talking about a bill in parliament or a policy that we are challenging. This time it is a human being who is not with us, a young baby who was 6 months old and is now completely taken off the face of the earth by activities that can be directed directly to members of the National Police Service. So allow me to invite Willis to also make a closure on this matter.
Thank you very much. I'm Willis Otieno, advocate for Utu Wetu, appearing for the victims in these proceedings. One thing that we must not focus on is that this case involves baby Pendo, a 6-month-old baby who was clobbered on her head to death on her baby coat by police officers. This case is about accountability to the victims of atrocities that were committed in Kisumu, Nyalenda, Nyamasaria, Obunga, and Nyawita. And the police officers who are the command of the units that committed these atrocities, they deserve to have their date to answer in court for what their respective units did. The unfortunate thing that we must point out, some of the named suspects in this case have been promoted. They've been promoted since the atrocities took place. They are now holding senior positions in the National Police Service Commission as we speak. Number two, we must call out Renson Igonga, the DPP. If the DPP is not interested in prosecuting this case, then he owes Kenyans an explanation as to why he does not intend for plea taking to be done in this particular case. There is no day this matter has been deferred at the instance of the victims or at the instance of the courts. All the adjournments have now been, since the Justice Kimondo ruling, have been at the instance of the prosecution. The DPP has been coming to court that is not willing to have the 11 suspects take plea because one person is not present. That is a fallacy. People are charged in these courts every day with others not before court. Plea taking can take place at any stage of proceedings, and the DPP deserves and needs to give Kenyans an explanation why in this particular instance he is reluctant to have the 11 suspects to take plea just because one person is missing. And it's not enough for him to say or try to throw it to the courts and to say he wants to now amend the charge sheet. They have had that charge sheet now for more than 5 years. They have not acted on it. Now they're asking the court to give them more time. All this is a delaying tactic to deny the people of Kisumu, those who suffered from the atrocities committed in 2017 and 2018, the opportunity to face their tormentors or those who had responsibility of the units that committed their torments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will give a statement once the ruling is given tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you for following up today. It's good to see so many of you here. And I'm sure the family of Pendo, particularly Lancelet Achieng, her mother, would be very heartened by the level of public interest in this case. As you know, of course, the governor of Kisumu spoke about this a week ago, and so did Chief Justice Kome as well. Thank you for coming.